Yo, check out this concept art for Bionicle G2. We got ourselves an evil version of Kopaka. What? We also have Tahu looking like something out of Evangelion. There's plenty of really mind-blowing stuff right here. So let's take a closer look at some of these concept art images, and we'll ponder the question: is the concept art better than the final G2 sets? Let's see. So the images I'm going to show you today, they come from this book. This is the Bionicle art book. There's not many of these books that were made. These were given out to LEGO ambassadors, and they were used as contest prizes. A limited run of 100 physical copies of this were produced by the LEGO group. So to get a physical copy, it's not easy and it's certainly not cheap. I've seen these things for sale for like $1,000. But there's a free PDF online if you want to look at it and not actually buy one. I'll have a link to that below if you want to check it out. I do plan to do multiple videos talking about every page in this awesome book, but for now, here are some highlights. So for starters, we have this amazing image. It depicts Tahu fighting some kind of evil enemy. I mean, this certainly looks like Tahu when you compare it to the final version of Tahu Uniter. There's a lot of similarities, especially in the mask. But yet you cannot deny that Evangelion inspiration. Yeah, the long limbs, the pronounced shoulders. It's awesome. Yeah, the idea of Bionicle sets taking inspiration from anime and other Japanese mecha and robots. That's so dope. You know, I guess they drifted away from this in the final version, but hey, you could totally recreate this design with your own mocks today. And you know, hey, if we ever got Bionicle G3, I'd love to see the art style look a little something like this. Strong hints of anime, hints of Gundam, or other similar Japanese and mech-related designs. It's kind of the perfect combination. And this dude that Tahu is fighting, they look cool. The sharper line style of the limbs and the armor, it does look somewhat reminiscent of a Gundam robot. Yeah, I wonder if this was meant to be an early version of Umarak the Hunter. Or perhaps this just turned into Umarak the Destroyer. Or heck, this could have even been a design for G2 Makuta. So many possibilities. Also, it's nice to see that some areas of this drawing are taking inspiration from existing pieces. For example, these golden blades, they look very similar to the golden spikes that we see on this set, Scarox. And then the lightning that's kind of flaring out of these weapons, it reminds me of the lightning pieces that come on Voltic's head. Pretty sweet. The book also goes into detail about different ideation and designs for the Uniter creatures. Like here, we can see different thoughts for the creature of ice. This Shard Walker is quite cool. I like how when it combines with Kopaka, the blades turn into wings and they work as additional armor. The idea of multiple functions for the one creature, I really like that. The rhino armor is a good concept, but yeah, I don't know if rhinos really fit the theme of ice and snow all that well. I guess that's why they didn't move forward with this. And this Blade Blizzard winged creature, the wings like coming off and becoming larger swords, so cool. Although, yeah, I guess to do this you would have to take the creature apart. It's less of a perfect unity where it's just the two coming together. Yeah, maybe LEGO felt this was too graphic, or I don't know, it just didn't fit the concept, which kind of makes sense. But look at this. The Uniter creature becoming a rocket launcher? That's amazing! Although, yeah, I don't know how a rocket launcher would then turn into a creature. That's a cool concept, but I guess it just wasn't very easy to translate into LEGO. Although man, Kopaka with an ice rocket launcher, so dope. My favourite image though has to be this owl. It fits in with the snow and ice theme very well, and who doesn't love owls? Yeah, I think this was a way better concept than the creature that we got in the final sets. Mellum in the final set was kind of more of a mole than an owl, which yeah, doesn't really work that well for snow. And when they link up with Kopaka, yeah, they just gain a little bit of extra armor. I do like this design, but man, some of the stuff that they were exploring here, well, it's pretty good, and maybe a little bit better. Then we get to the creature of water. Let's take a closer look and see what's going on here. So some interesting weapon experimentation. I guess that's cool in theory, but yeah, maybe didn't work well in execution. All of these creatures certainly fit the water theme though. And that, a turtle creature? That's probably my favorite. I like how it offers armor and turrets on top of that. Another 2-in-1 situation. Funnily enough though, we kind of get a combination of all 3 of these in the eventual Unity form that we see in the final set. Because yeah, the final version of Gully sees her with those turrets. She also has a tail and some boosters on her back. Oh yeah, and the final creature of water was a little bit more shark-like. Although I always saw this more as a dolphin. Still, I guess they advanced forward with this concept that we see here. Okay, now over to Onawa's creature concepts, and I do like these ones. These creatures seem to lean a little bit more into Onawa's bulkier appearance. In G2, he was very much the tank of the team, and his larger powerhouse design, it reflected that. So yeah, it's good to see the beasts sharing very similar qualities physically. And yo, look at this rhino. The legs kind of pop off and turn into turrets? Amazing. Although, yeah, maybe they don't actually pop off now that I look at it. It seems they kind of bend backwards and the body becomes a backpack of sorts. Yeah, look, it's still super cool. Although, Cave Flyer. Using that as an excuse to give Onawa wings? Heck yeah! Maybe this looked a little bit too evil for a Toa, so they stayed away from this. But oh, I tell you what, Onawa with wings? I love it. The final version of the set saw a mole creature for the Uniter Beast, which fits the Earth theme very well. And when they link up, he just gets a little bit more armor. The final design, sure, it is very good. But after seeing what could have been, I don't know. I like the concept art just that little bit more. And the final creature concept that we're going to discuss, this is for Pahatu. Dude, the idea of the creature being kind of bird-like with wings that then become armor and blades? Sick! I can just see these blades digging into stone and allowing him to climb up tall canyons with ease. Kind of like rock climbing equipment of sorts. Also, this image in the middle where Pahatu has some kind of cloaking camo. Man, they had some really good ideas for Bionicle G2. Speaking of good ideas, look at this craziness. I love this stone slicer, linking onto just one arm of Pahatu and giving him a new chainsaw attachment. Wow. Yeah, maybe they didn't go with this because they wanted to kind of have that consistency of the Uniter Beast attaching onto the back, like we see on the end product. But oh, this is just fantastic. Now, I guess the Dragon Flyer is closer to what we got in the end. They link up in a pretty similar way, but yeah, these blades didn't really become wings on the final product. They were more weaponry. And the final creature isn't really a dragonfly, they're more of a scorpion. Yeah, I guess that works for a Tower of Stone, but oh, I don't know, man. These designs, they just make my heart sing. I feel like a kid again, staring at Lego sets with my jaw on the floor thinking they're the coolest thing in the world. Because these are the coolest thing in the world. And then one more. Here's everyone's favorite, it's Umarak the Hunter. The sleekness of this armor and all these curved lines and everything. Umarak looks like a transformer straight out of Michael Bay movies. And then look at this image in the corner. I guess they wanted his elemental powers to kind of shine through the silver armor. Like he kind of glows with power. Man, if they could have found a way to incorporate light bricks into a CCBS figure to actually do that, oh, that would have been awesome, although probably also would have been impossible, but hey, we can dream. And then we've got a similar image here which explores a different approach for the mask. Yeah, making it look like the skull of a dead animal. It fits the hunter vibe of Umarak the Hunter very well. Yeah, I maybe like this a little bit more than the final mask. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain that this mask looks a little bit too messy. But, I don't know, what do you think? Which one do you like more? And you know, yeah, comparing this to the final set, apart from some of the armor details and that kind of Transformer-like aesthetic, they are fairly similar. They kept the rough look and the overall silhouette very consistent. Although I do wish the final set came with a cape, he looks really good with it in the concept art. And then we get a look at Umarak's creatures, which of course the final set never had a creature. You could combine him with some of the other creatures from the other Toa, but yeah, he never got his own one. Although I do like these creature designs. Something very Lovecraftian about them. A more eldritch approach, and one that's certainly a little bit more evil. You get the sense that maybe Umarak used some dark magic to create these creatures. Or he had to find them in the deepest, darkest corners of the world. They're creatures of pure evil, much like him. These concepts fit a bad guy character very nicely. It's a shame these never became official sets. And we'll finish off by looking at that dark Kopaka. Man, the idea of Kopaka turning evil is fascinating. Or maybe this isn't evil Kopaka, this is a shadow clone. Hey, that would have been cool. A whole wave of sets where you get the Toa, and they have to fight off against shadow clones of themselves. Kopaka Toa of Ice versus Dark Kopaka. I'd like that. Now, if this was real, I would have loved to have seen this mask and these armor pieces because, dude, they look so good. This kind of hint of blue that looks like he's got ice in his veins. I love it. Not to mention he has a Wolverine claw on his hand and a sick cape. I tell you what, if LEGO came to me and they said, hey Ben, you can pick one of these concept art images to be turned into an official set, I'm picking this one. If this was real, it would look so good. It would be a dream come true. Man, this art book is full of all sorts of goodies. Like I said, I'm going to do a few more videos showcasing every single page of this book because it's packed full of good stuff. So stay tuned. But that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed taking a peek at some incredible stuff that could have been with Bionicle G2. Prototypes are so frickin' awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.